I was, looking back at some of those early Stardust sort of headlines and some of those articles and what was permitted, and it's pretty insane.
These magazines were so powerful. There was an actress on the cover. The editor looked at the cover and was like, I don't like her figure. Call her. And she just told her, I don't like your figure. I'm going to tell my Photoshop guy to change it. And she was a big star. And I was like scandalized. And then that actress was like, okay, but don't tell my mother.
I really wanted to have you here just to talk about how much the sort of film media landscape has changed over the years, whether it's sort of PR, positioning, interviews, gossip, that whole world, and just sort of the relationship between stars and the media. And my hot take on this is it feels like it's never been more difficult just to have an honest conversation with a celebrity, with a star, without the machinery, the marketing, the strategizing, the fear kicking in.
Right now, it is one of the most difficult times. I would agree with you. I think digital changed everything. So influencers became journalists. I don't know how many times and how to tell people.
We will get to that. That is my biggest pet
Influencers
peeve.
are not journalists. Yeah. Content creators are not journalists. Journalists are journalists.
Yeah.
That's the biggest change. PR agencies, corporate agencies coming in many ways, it's a good thing. But earlier, there were 5 men in PR. I can name them and I can tell you their stories. They would fight with each other and fight with us. But those fights were much simpler fights. So PR industry, after that, agencies came. There were no agencies. I think they were literally paid in cash. They would, after 6 o'clock, you couldn't get in touch with any of them. They would be drinking somewhere.
That's the dream, if our day ended at 6.
Literally call, हाँ रोहित जी आप यहाँ आ जाइए, इनका इंटरव्यू है, आप ये फिल्म आ रही है, आप इनके बारे में बात करना, बाकी आपको जो चाहिए पूछ लेना. Nobody says that line
That would
anymore.
never happen today.
Yeah. So imagine, and that was amazing that, that because they knew these stars, producers, directors are smarter and they can handle a question. Simple.
Yeah. So there was more trust in the talent.
I don't think this managing an interview the concept was not there.
Yeah.
They didn't know better.
But also I was, looking back at some of those early Stardust sort of headlines and some of those articles and what was permitted, and it's pretty insane. There's the very famous sort of gossip columnist Devyani Chaubal. I was reading about her, and they call her the queen of mean. And some of those things that she was allowed to write, and she was so upfront about it, was insane. Like, that'll never fly today.
Yeah.
I read a piece where she talked about the love life of Dharmender that's me putting it very gently. And then you heard these stories of how like Amitabh Bachchan would get together with other stars to boycott Stardust because they say they were being harassed. So just what was it like? I mean, and what are the most sort of crazy headlines or stories you read from back in the day? Because it just seemed like they could get away with so much more.
They were very powerful. These magazines were so powerful. I happened to join a magazine again back in the days, and they were all women. I was this very young, shy reporter who would not speak one word in meetings. And there was an actress on the cover. The first time I attended an edit meeting, and the editor looked at the cover and was like, I don't like her figure. Call her. So the other woman in the room just picked up, there was no mobile phone. She connected on the speaker and she said, and she just told her, I don't like your figure. I'm going to tell my Photoshop guy to change it. And she was a big star. And I was like scandalized. I was like, and then that actress was like, okay, but don't tell my mother. So this is how powerful editors were. They could change your figure on the cover because the magazine editor didn't like it. And they did that. And then
you could literally make or break your image.
Yeah, and no, they would make your image, they would make you look hotter, glamorous and all that if they felt, because they were such experts in fashion.
Yeah.
And they would follow the international covers and all that. So they would literally tell the actor, I'm changing your figure. And the actress would say, yeah, go ahead and change.
My takeaway from that is Photoshop was a thing back then. I guess you could do it in a different way.
Do it. Yeah, Photoshop was a new thing, and graphic design. And like, in the meeting, everybody was looking at this cover that was put up on the wall. And like, what do you think of this? What do you think? I was the guy in the meeting, like, Rohit, what do you think? I said, it's just fine. Like, she's looking gorgeous.
So then, because I was going to ask you about that, it just felt like journalists had a lot more power, or individual journalists or publications. And so was there a closer relationship between sort of stars and the media then?
The thing is, I'll tell you why they were powerful. They were powerful because stars didn't get along.
Okay.
They would all want to use the media against each other. Okay. They would, I am number one, this magazine should call me number one. and I'm in this film, don't talk about him, don't put him on the cover, I'll come with 2 actresses stand like that for you. But they were pitted against each other by the magazine, and everybody was using the situation very well. But like, this was very powerful journalism at some point.
And I mean, I was also going to ask you about the insanity of interviews, and because it feels like it's much harder today, correct me if I'm wrong, to get these, because today, the machinery we have to jump through to get an interview, the WhatsApp sort of black hole that comes with it. I mean, back in the day, because even today, if you want to reach out to someone, you have to find out whose person is who, then you go through an entire family tree of PR. So before, was it again, you had these 5 people you knew who to reach out to, was it much easier for a known journalist to access a star?
Nobody would tell you, send me questions. Today, any publicist telling you to send questions, they lose the right of complaining that good journalism doesn't exist, because you are a part of the problem. You are starting this trend, you are jumping into the same trend. Maybe your client is telling you, see, the job was to organize the interview, to tell me, this is the place, Rohit, this is the place, come here, this time, this, that. The job was never to manage the interview, to control the interview. At what point this changed that they started controlling the full interview? The headline should be this, the YouTube thumbnail should have this.
Don't talk about this.
His name should come first, his name should come. When did this happen? Also, I understand their job is tough. Their job is to have a good image of the actor. But I don't think my changing the headline, me asking one question, will do any damage to your big stardom that exists with so many films that you have done. So I don't know why they take it so seriously. I mean, you are telling me send questions. Then, okay, then I'm sending you some pointers. Okay, I'll discuss around this. Then you say, remove these 2. This person will, that's what I'm saying. Then don't complain that journalism doesn't exist. You are the part of the problem. You are making sure journalism doesn't exist.
You're telling us what we can and can't talk about.
Then just actors have their Instagram, do a monologue, sit on your Instagram, come live, morning to evening, show what you want. But the thing is, when you have a journalist, see, also, they got so used to influencers who kept praising them. Your film is the film of the year, your song is the song of the year. You and I never did that, and we will not do that. Also, I just feel every star, if you don't know the difference between my interview and their interview, too bad, dude. Like, grow up, smell some coffee. My interviews, if my interview doesn't add value, you think it's the same thing as an influencer's interview. It's your mental block. You have to come out of it. You have to be smarter than that.
We watch all these interviews nowadays. You see these clips and it gives you such an existential crisis. I saw something on Twitter which was some influencer asking Denzel Washington if he knew what a labubu was. and then you just see his face drop and you're like, if this is what you are giving them, then, because I'm guessing some stars just want that, right? They want the ego massage.
Yeah, these kind of things travel. That's why you saw it.
That's true.
Yeah, these kind, we will not discuss a great interview done by some Hollywood reporter, but I think this is what this Instagram has done. A catchy headline. How will it trend? If I say something, if I talk about labubu suddenly, there was something very rude that happened to Tom Cruise on one red carpet where some guy spilled some water on his face, and that traveled a lot. That was such a rude thing to do, but it traveled, and that made that journalist so famous. So sadly, these are the things that that people fall for. I have never done this. I would never do this.
Do you have some favorite interview moments of yours, or sort of do you have these landmark moments where you feel like there are certain conversations you're very proud of, or you feel like have really been like a milestone for you?
I did a show with Shahid Kapoor at a college. I was not told what not to ask. I was not told, no filters, nothing. And so many clips of that even today go viral because he spoke about everything. Now, fan can get up and ask and name some actress and do something, and he is smart enough. He's he's a street smart, Bombay guy, and he'll say, "हाँ, तुझे answer चाहिए ना, मैं देता हूँ तुझे." But handle that. If you y'all are such big stars, can't y'all handle a question? Whatever I may ask you, if you tell me, if I ask you something really controversial and you tell me, Rohit, I don't want to talk about this, I'll step back. That much, let's have that.
We're not trying to catch them out.
All the older actors, we would message them directly, and they would message us directly. They would call us directly. But the younger, I think the whole management system and the PR system doesn't they are much closer to them than you and I. So they will show them another picture of Suchin and Rohit. They'll say, यार ये लोग ना थोड़े problematic है, हम संभाल लेंगे इनको.
So we need PR.
Yeah, so तुम अपना काम करो, तुम acting करो, endorsement करो. We will handle these guys. They are the problematic people. If someone tells you this day in and day out, you will end up thinking, हाँ maybe, and they'll show some story. They'll say, देखो इसने ये tweet कर दिया, क्या भरोसा इसका कल आपके बारे में कर देगा. So they are creating this atmosphere that I'm some major devil who will destroy your career. I don't care about your career.
Yeah. We have to talk about the mothership, which is roundtables, which we have complained about to each other in the past, which is how of a pain in the ass it is to coordinate those. Because I mean, there's so much fun to watch, but as an audience, I'll say that, but everything that goes into putting those together makes you want to rip your hair out.
My God, yeah.
Because people don't realize, you feel like you're casting a film.
I've let biggest stars go and I've had smaller actors on my roundtable only because I didn't want them to call the shots. I was like, it's okay. I'll do a small roundtable. Some people may laugh and say, "Ye kya roundtable kar raha hai?" But I will not have your star on the roundtable. The roundtables that Rajiv did, they are the best roundtables. We can never do them. I don't think this generation ever will witness something like Amitabh Bachchan, Ranbir Kapoor, I don't know, everyone, Irfan Khan and all these great actors on one roundtable. But those times are gone. Those were the first roundtables. He had the great first mover advantage and he used it, exploited it to his best, to make the roundtable the best. But we have to now adjust. I'm taking it simple. 2 big names, 1 middle level, 1 filler. It's become like that. Yeah. That's how we think, and that's so sad. That's not how roundtable should be.
It is very sad. Also, it's, I come at it with an arrogance of I'm just looking to celebrate talent. But then from their perspective, it becomes that. You're just looking for people to care, right? Like you want to put, this is the best performance of the year, this is a big star, who's also a very good actor, let's talk about your work. But from them, it becomes that. It becomes bastardized. That's why you can't get the Rajiv level roundtable again, because for them, it becomes about the noise. And
correct. The thing is, at some point of time, see, what was the PR job? To bridge the gap between an actor and the media, and producer, director, actor, industry and the media. You have only expanded the gap. The gap is now so much. The gap, what do we want? We want interviews. If you think, if my relation with you is bad for 365 days, how will this work? Yeah. I'm not going anywhere. Too bad for you. Best is if I get along with 5 other agencies, that means we can also get along. Yesterday I shot an interview for an agency who I don't get along with at all. Because they called me, I was like, wow, great interview, let's go and do it. We all are professionals, let's just do at least that much, do the job that we are given. It's this whole, the Sayyara became such a debate, right? Yeah. People said that film did well, nobody needs the media now, interview bhi nahi kiya, to bhi picture itni chal gayi. That film worked because it was a good film. Yeah. After that, Param Sundari came. They didn't do interviews. Did it work as Sayyara? It didn't. Yeah. So interviews or no interview, we should not connect everything. And I know a lot of people want to take credit for it. This was the strategy that that Sayyara was. We will hide them. And true, there was curiosity about these actors. We don't know how they are, how they talk, what they are like. But I don't know, did the film work because of that? No, the song was a hit, super hit.
It's a good film.
And it's a good film. Mohit Suri gave a good film. Those actors did very well. All credit to Yash Raj. So even though you and I didn't get the interviews, we are happy for Sayyara. Yeah. But does that mean ki media ki zarurat hi nahi hai? I don't think so. That's such short-term thinking.
But just speaking of Sayyara, I'm also curious to get your perspective on, because you've seen so much of it and it happens so many times. What do you think are the do's and don'ts of launching new talent, launching a new star? Because I feel like we see so many examples of it done well and it maybe done not so well. So what do you think are like the biggest mistakes a production house or producer will make when trying to launch a new talent in terms of media, in terms of all
right. That? See, this whole Instagram, pap culture, this was started by agencies. They bought people, they got people, they called them to the office, they paid them. They made pap culture, gym and all. I think that they themselves realize that this is overexposure. Overexposure is something that is never a good idea, for sure. If I know you everything about you, there'll be no curiosity. Ranbir Kapoor is a great example of that. Like today also, we don't know what he's doing, but we know so many things about so many actors, what they're doing, which Ganpati Pandal they went to. So yeah, Ranbir you will see on other pages, but the thing is, he's never putting up his cup of coffee in the morning.
And I've always thought that is a big part of his stardom, But at the same time, could you give that advice to an aspiring actor today, because they need to be everywhere? I mean, it must be very tough to.
I think everybody will have their own journey. Ahan Pandey's journey. He was such a filmy guy on social media, and dub smash, and he used to do all those things. Suddenly he's been told, just stay away, and it's worked well for him. Will it work for the next person? No. After Ranbir Kapoor, a Ranveer Singh came who was the opposite personality.
Yeah.
Loud everywhere, hugging paps, kissing them, this, that, and it worked for him. It worked very well for him. So there were two kind of stars even in the just previous generation. There's space for everyone. I think everybody will have their own journey. It's about how you carry yourself, what you say. If you're an idiot, then nobody can help you.
But no, but I guess then is the answer to that you need someone smart enough to know that, okay, for a Ranveer, this is, play on your strengths. For a Ranveer is separate, for an Ahan is separate. So, because I guess it's not a one size fits all. So I guess you need someone who can,
you can't change anyone's personality. Ranveer Singh went through so much, okay? First there was overexposure, and then someone told him, ye to sab jagah pe hai, kya ho raha hai? Then he changed his thing. He started wearing black at the airport, and he started covering his face. He still does that. I don't think you can change.
Yeah.
It's okay. If you are like that, be like that.
Yeah.
Don't, one person telling you that, teko aisa nahi hona chahiye, I don't think that works. Crowd loves Ranveer for the way he is.
Yeah.
He should not become a Ranveer. We have a Ranveer. There's space for both. These agencies think that they are very powerful because they have stars. I don't need your stars, dude.
You mentioned pap culture. I'm curious to get your thoughts on how you feel like that's really disrupted the space, because it feels like now so much of Instagram, so much of that world is pap culture, whether it's paid for, whether it's not. And they also try to get the breaking news. That seems like to be this massive new pipeline that maybe wasn't there in the past.
Being one of the biggest consumers of that, because we all are watching, as much as we may say whatever and think whatever, it's addictive.
Yeah.
It's great to see who was wearing what, where did they go, what did they do, literally knowing their whereabouts. They are very hardworking, clearly, because they are all over the place. It just has to get organized, I feel. Definitely, they also talk about it. They also agree. It has to get slightly streamlined. It can't be, you can't just put up anyone for money. Y'all are no one to give star ratings to films. The thing is, and also this is encouraged by a PR agency, because you are not giving them 4 stars. I'm not giving them. They're like, okay, this pap will give it 4 stars. Who are you? I'm saying, I am following that pap. I love him for his work. He can't become a film critic. Don't make him a film critic. So, the thing is, here every khichdi ban jati hai sab cheez. Everything is a bhel puri. This guy can be a pap. He can be a talk show host. He can be a movie critic. And that's it. I'm not trying to be a pap, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put everything on my page. I can easily download and upload on my page. I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah.
That's not me. They should not become me. I should not become them.
But I do think there's something about all of this. You keep mentioning that this is the PR's doing. There's something about they've made a beast of their own making, and sometimes it feels like it's biting them in the ass.
Yeah.
So often that, if, like you're saying, you're controlling the conversation, if so much of it is paid for, then when something truly sincere comes out, if somebody says, I like Sayara, this happened a lot with me where I talked about how much I like Jigra, and then you get all these comments of people saying this is paid, or you have an agenda, and maybe you can't blame that logic, because so often that is true in other cases, that you're sort of training an audience to not sort of believe anything, or believing everything is fake.
Yeah. That's it's a big trap. Everyone watching this also, we have been consumers of this as well. I will now, once I get my phone after this interview, till I go down, I will consume all this.
Yeah.
So somewhere it's so addictive. It's so addictive to see. Today, I'm telling you, I can tell you till I entered your door what was posted. I can tell you what was Ananya Pandey wearing, which Ganpati did Ahan Pandey and Ranbir Kapoor go. We know everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we are. But the thing is, they got trapped. Like you said, they got trapped into their overexposure was a thing. Don't let them come to your gym every day. It's very easy to not get papped. We know people who don't get papped. Every gym has a second entry. You can leave from there. These popular gyms I'm talking about. The fact that if you are coming out of that door where paps are standing, you want that.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was walking around in Bandra, and there were paps outside a restaurant, and then in the night I saw there was Disha Patni and there was Moni Roy and everybody. How do they know all this?
Yeah.
I'm saying, but that's what overexposure is. Overexposure, that's why there's less excitement when a movie actually comes.
Yeah. Also, like, does this stuff really translate to anything? You know, like, is
So
it really
so these agencies made this, but I'm saying, you know, they are supposed to do damage control. Those days are gone. There was a time where I would really get into trouble if I was in NDTV and India Today gets a Shah Rukh Khan interview. I would really get into trouble. That why you didn't get it, why they got it, a whole explanation, email exchange will follow. Today it doesn't work like that. Today I'll interview a rebel kid and my interview will go flying. So I don't need your star. I'm saying today, you know, there are so many filmmakers I've interviewed recently, like Rajiv Rai decided to do an interview because he made a film. Sunil Darshan decided to do an interview because he made a film. Those interviews they've done terrific, even on our Instagram, because these men have stories. They are not scared to say, "Maine isko nikal diya picture se." So these are the stories people want to hear. What do your stars want to talk? What great acting is by just growing their mustache and doing a border film. That's method acting for them. Imagine these are the men who are actually giving you the stories. Like this clip of Sunil Darshan where he says, "I had a very bad experience with Sunny Deol," and then going on to telling some financial story of his, but people want to hear that. So I'm saying my Sunil Darshan interview did well, my Rajiv Rai interview did well. Tomorrow I'll go and interview Rebel Kid. There are so many options. I'll interview Urfi. There are so many options. I'm saying your power of having 5 stars, it's not power. It's not power anymore.
Do you think that this, I guess the PR does, but do you think that the stars themselves feel more insecure than ever before? Because the definition of celebrity or even star has changed a lot. You know, now they definitely don't have the same level of clout. Maybe some of the sort of newer movie stars don't have the same clout as somebody would 20 years ago.
Absolutely. And they have given their clout away. I think in today's day and age, I would say Ranbir Kapoor has enough clout because of the way he manages himself. There's something to learn over there. Why does Karan Johar, who does Coffee with Karan, and initially he had only Shah Rukh Khan of the world, but today every season will have influencers coming as judges or something. Why?
Because he has to tap into that.
Yeah, exactly. You need the views and they have the views. Today Farah Khan is a YouTuber and a very successful YouTuber. These are the platforms to go to. So the that power that your 5 stars, keep it to yourself. Keep them to yourself. Don't take them out.
You mentioned sort of Instagram and YouTube and the recent interviews you've done that have done so well. I'm curious to know, because now we are in the era of YouTube and social media and stuff, how much does that impact how you approach an interview? Because now you hear all these things of publications saying, I need a reel, I need a trend. You're stepping into a conversation looking for a viral reel.
Yeah.
So is that also sad that we're like, are people going into conversations looking for content pegs versus just a conversation?
True. The thing is, when I interview the younger actors, I don't expect, only because I know they will not give. They are so scared. There's someone watching them. There's someone saying, don't say this, don't say that. Deepika going to JNU was, I think, Deepika's decision. As much as the agency would have told her, don't do this, don't, it will have repercussions and all. It's something she believed in. If any of your actors believe in something, let them do. Don't take the humanity out of them. Today where we are sitting, today there are actors non-stop at Venice Film Festival talking about Gaza, but the thing is, again, they have a Joaquin Phoenix, they have a Angelina Jolie, they have these literally handful of actors who will talk at every platform. We don't have those. We don't even have 3.
I was thinking of gossip today and what that looks like, because obviously gossip columns and blind items, are no longer as prevalent. And obviously it's Bolly Blind's gossip, which we have to talk about on Reddit, which is like the big powerhouse.
I don't like platforms that are not accountable. I personally never log on, and I genuinely am telling you, I've never logged on and read something on Reddit, because something that's so loose. Today I can make an account and write something about you. You can write about me, and there'll be no end to all this. At least, see, the most accountable I feel are journalists. I'm accountable to some website. I work somewhere. We all are accountable. We watch every film. We do some. Then come influencers who are very powerful and all, but they are not accountable to anyone. They are accountable to their views, and that's it. Then comes these platforms like Reddit who are not accountable only. They are, anyone can write anything about. So they are so misused. I feel people should be smarter, and it's just adding to a lot of negativity. I was telling you, actors being negative against each other is a thing, dude. Like, I can't tell you.
There's so many articles we read which is clearly a plant of some actor trying
Yeah,
to...
exactly. So there's a young actor and there's a big superstar. There's so much talk about them being in the same space, and they are so scared that what if he takes me out of endorsements? What if he takes me out of movies? What if he goes to a director and offers half the price and thus take away all my movies? Imagine this is what a young actor is thinking instead of learning acting, instead of meeting directors. He's like, yaar, ye to mera kaam leke ja raha hai. And it's happening right now. It's scary. So first clear the dirt within your industry, then handle the media. Also this deleting. Every time something comes, an actor will say, they'll call the agency and say, ye sab jagah se delete kara do. One, I feel for the agency because why did you take up this job? Cleaning this mess was not your job. Who told you that I will delete if you call me?
Also, how can you delete something from the internet? Good luck.
Exactly. So, but they've been successfully deleting so many things. Like, recently I did an interview with an actor. So this girl told me, please don't ask this because I'll only have to get it deleted. I said, but that's not your job. Your job is to get the interview done. It was not to delete something. But they've successfully, what happens is, then the publicist will call the website and say, ek ye favor kar do, delete kar do. I owe you a big interview. Then the website will be like, chalo, theek hai, I've done one favor, I'm deleting this. Remember this. But you're giving someone an upper hand every time, and this is a never-ending cycle. So they successfully get it deleted, but I'm saying, why did you take up this job? Deleting something was never your job.
Another thing that's happening so often in various industries is you have these, I think YouTubers, content creators who have a big following, who are calling themselves reviewers, and they're essentially blackmailing producers to say, if you don't if you don't pay me, I will sort of review bomb your film, and it appears they can actually impact box office, which is immensely scary. I mean, that's
true. It's a beast made by the producers. You one day paid these people because we didn't give them 4 stars. They wanted 4 stars from anyone. So they're like, chalo, just pay them and quickly we want to put up an ad. It's Friday. That whole pressure of a release day.
Review creative, the stars and all
creative.
that stuff.
So they got those 4 stars and suddenly those guys got used to getting paid. Their income stopped because suddenly this producer decided, for this film I don't want to pay. Then this guy stands up and says, how will you not pay? You paid for the last film. So I'm saying it's a beast you made. And I agree, you decided to promote one film and not the second one, but sorry, this guy is not accountable to anyone.
What do you do it, when sometimes we go to these press screenings, sometimes the filmmakers or the actors, whoever are there, and you have to see them on the way out. There's no choice, there's no secret exit. So obviously you have to sort of nod and whatever. If you've really hated the film, do you have a set line you will use if they look at you looking for an opinion?
Best of luck. Hope it does well. These are my 2-3 lines, and even they understand that he didn't say anything. I usually, also they recent press show, they kept this whole paid audience thing. First, this audience they go for Kapil Sharma show or whatever. There are agencies that send crowd everywhere. They used to go for events where they would stand on the other side of the red carpet and shout an actor's name. Then they started going for talk shows, and which is also okay, they are fans and whatever. Now they've started coming for press shows. So I'm saying, why is this audience, it's called a press show. It's for press. Even if 10 people come, it's okay. We chose to watch it with 10 people. So I prefer going and watching on my own. If you're anyway showing it on a Friday, I rather watch it on my own. But they requested, they said come and watch it. Then I see the show is completely full. I'll tell you the problem. They turn around and say, problem क्या है? ये लोग भी देख रहे हैं. तुम भी देखो ना, तुमको picture दिखा रहे हैं. 15 minutes, first 15 minutes of the film, they were all walking around because they couldn't find their seat. I want to watch your film properly from the first frame to the last frame. They are busy fighting about a popcorn that they are not getting. Put them in another show. So
also, do they care about the film, or is it just I get to watch something free?
They are paid money to come and watch first thing in the morning. And did that impress me that it's a house full? No. If they clap, did I care? No. I'm saying I will anyway like a film. If it's a good film, I'll not like. I don't know who are you fooling, who's sitting in this office is thinking it's a brilliant idea to fill the press show.
Just
No idea.
create a lot of empty buzz.
Do that, in a trailer launch, we've seen they'll shout from behind, they'll take the actor's name, actor will feel very happy. This whole orchestrated thing, everybody knows it's an orchestrated thing. Do that. But I'm saying, why they started, tomorrow they'll start coming in interviews. We're really scared. There's no end to all this. I don't think anything translates into ticket. But the older actors, I have to say, Amir, Saif, Ritik and all, they realize, ये mall wall जाके कुछ नहीं होएगा. We are just going and saying hi to everyone. Free mein, they are all coming to watch you, but they are not paying. Anyway, films are not doing well, people are not paying.
You're doing it for the fans, but they know that it won't translate to.
Correct. And if an actor wants to do something like Shah Rukh does for his birthday, he meets his fans, there's a regular, they know how to reach there and all that. So he does that. They don't have to go to a mall in Lucknow and Jaipur and Nagpur and all.
I want to end on a little hope. This is a full therapy question. When there is so much working against you, when there is when there's so much noise, there is irritation, there's PR, if you really are affected or moved by a film, you want to talk to an actor, you really care about their work, you just want to have a conversation, you're not trying to look for a reel, it's not a content peg, nothing. When there is so much pulling you down, working against you, or just putting you off, what keeps you going? What makes you enjoy this after all this time?
Right. My faith in journalism, I'm telling you, the fact that I'm still here today, I'm still doing interviews, many have come and gone. I have seen, even since I started, luckily I became an editor early on in my career. So I've seen generations of reporters come and go, like batches of people come and go. The fact that I'm still here, I'm still doing the interviews, that just means one thing. I'm honest to my job. I know that personally. Longevity is in sensible work. I will continue to do that. Also, what I've done is I've surrounded myself by good journalists. I talk to them. Good journalists, good producers, good creative people. We all talk about good work. So there's lot, and also the fact that all of us are around, and we will be around. There were many people who were very funny and and all those things. They came and they went. There's a time for everything. Even when we were in a news channel, there was a guy, he was very cool, very funky, and he would, he looked great, everything was perfect. And he took away most of the shows from people like me, even my seniors, because there would be just one entertainment slot, and that show would go to him because he was so good on camera. He came and he went.
Because he didn't care.
Yeah, beyond that, there's nothing.
You're just getting the coordination. But even the dates are a whole other thing. It's also just the ego management of everyone wants to be the last one to confirm. Everyone wants to know who else is there. It's almost like a popularity contest.
Sunny Leone is a great example. Okay, she is very popular. She's a lovely person. So she has
Smart.
She's smart. Her husband is also in the same business of their producers. She looks good. Because she's a nice person, she has great credibility. People talk nice about her, saying, "Usko le le, she's easy to work with and all." Beyond a point, there were not that many films that came out, right? So beyond a point, they want actors. She's good in something. Maybe she can be a good host or something. But acting in movies requires a separate talent. Doing interviews requires a journalist, which is a separate talent from all these other things. So ultimately, an actor will last in acting, a journalist will last in journalism.
I will very much take the hope that it has to matter. For us, for the PR machinery, for everyone, good conversations have to matter. Well, thank you for doing this.
Hi, this is Rohit Khilnani. You can watch me on The Hot Take on Hook.